Okay, so today we're talking about how we can support sensory processing difficulties within a work environment. So some things that we need to consider are the environment itself. So whether it's an office job, whether it's a shop job, you need to try and recognise how the space is lit. So what kind of lighting is being used? Is there strip lights? Is there pin spotlights? Can they be angled away in different directions? And there are lots of reflective surfaces. If there are areas which are darker than other areas, try and recognise this, particularly once you've recognised their specific sensory needs. Another thing that you need to be aware of is the seating. So are you or is your employee sitting at a desk by themselves? Are they surrounded around other colleagues? Is there one large desk that everyone works on? Is it one big room? So there's lots of possible sounds and noises that are happening within this one space. What technology is in that room? So do you have photocopiers, printers, radios, phones, anything else that could be adding to the extra sound? Is there any way that sounds can be reduced? So maybe the photocopier being within another space, or maybe having an area of the office which is a quieter working area. Think about the purpose of that person's job. Do they need to be around their other colleagues and working with them, supporting them on their work, or are they able to work within a different space, maybe a quieter space, maybe a space where there's less people around them, especially people with proprioceptive and tactile difficulties. Sometimes by being around people, it's quite overwhelming. So as well as thinking about the environment, try and also recognise that the pressures of work can make our sensory processing difficulties heighten. So for example, if I have just had a telephone call and I've been given lots of information, so maybe I've been asked to arrange a meeting for someone, I'm going to record all that information, whether I've written it down or sent it in an email. I've also opened up my emails and I've got loads of other emails in there as well from other people asking for other jobs to be done or asking me questions, maybe about an event or something that's happening or something that within my role is for me to do. And then maybe I've got a meeting, so then if I'm going to a meeting I have to think about all the things that I need to prepare for that meeting. So it might be that I have a list of things, but then if I've also got all these other things going around in my head, so if I've got all the information from the phone call, and then I've got all the information and worry in my head that I've got all these emails that I need to reply to as well, and then I have this meeting. Once the meeting is over, it's really important that then that person's able to process all of that information. So are they able to have an area where they can go and work, or have an area where they can go and sit down and just reflect on everything that has happened? A lot of the time when we have a lot of pressures, which we do within a job, regardless of what job it is, we will need some time out to be able to process all of this information. And don't forget, a sensory processing difficulty or disorder is when our brain finds it difficult to organise information. So when we're given lots and lots of information and it's carrying on being given to us, it's quite easy for us to become overwhelmed because our brain's finding it difficult to organise it. Or maybe it is organising it, but the response to that information might be overwhelming, or it might be to almost block it out. So for example, if I'm in an office and I'm really trying to focus on my work or reply to my emails, it might be that I block out other people speaking. So I'm really focusing on my work and someone else is trying to have a conversation with me or get my attention, but actually I'm not tuning into them at all. I might not be ignoring them, it's just a matter of how can I focus on my work. So visually focus, I'm going to block out the other senses to focus on what I'm being asked to do, okay? So all of those things are really important to recognise, especially when you're supporting someone with a sensory processing difficulty. Think about the kind of chairs they're sitting on, think about the different areas within the space. Are they able to go outside for a walk? Are they able to access different environments for different meetings or for different parts of their day, how can you support all of their sensory needs within one space? Can they sit on a different kind of seat or a cushion? Are there different textures around? Are you able to have fidgets on desks or workstations or whatever the job role is? It's really, really important to have that flexibility and be active. You'll also see within, if those changes are implemented, a huge improvement in work productivity and how all of the staff engage and achieve what they're being asked to do. So it's really something to consider for everyone. If you want any more information on this, then send us an email. I'm more than happy to help. There's lots of big companies at the moment that are really supporting to employ people with sensory processing difficulties or autism or any other additional needs. So have a search on the internet because there's lots more information out there. And we're going to be having a new installation soon, specifically focusing on work-based environment and some of the pressures that a sensory processing difficulty might find difficult. Okay, so don't forget to share this video, subscribe to our YouTube page, and we're all on social media as well. Okay.